Um, I'd say my passion is using my voice, and by that I mean having conversations with people, whether that be something small, you know, uh, small genuine gesture or interaction, or something deep and more intellectual like. But yeah, I'd say definitely using my voice. I feel like it's kind of my purpose here, on this earth. So um, yeah, I try to go out my way to use my voice and everywhere I can by attending church, um, writing, poetry, and through my voice, verbally.
So for me, I would say my passion really resonates within music and film. So growing up, I was always watching movies, and something that I found a lot of creativity and passion towards. I would really just take my time with it. I would soak in all the information I could, whether it was behind the scenes or just watching a bunch of YouTube videos and things like that. Um, so my passion is really also comes down to behind the scenes and the production side of things, how something can come together. That's where creative mindsets really push the boundaries, and that's only able to happen with a true passion. You can look at a movie and it can be a soulless cash grab, and you look at something with a budget of 100 million, but then you look at something with a budget of 200,000. Let's take the Blair Witch for example. That was only with 5 guys, and extreme passion and dedication is what made that the outstanding success that it was, and so many people were able to recognize that. So my passion really, production, music, movies, right there.
My passion is really being the best disciple for Jesus I can be, and I'm not always the best at it. Like I will always fail, but like that's my passion. Like I love giving people a great first impression. Like I want people to like think that's a nice guy, or I just want to love on people. You know what I mean? Like I don't want anybody thinking that they're not loved, and when I meet them, I want people to think that they are loved and that they're cool or all that. Like that's my passion. My passion is loving people how Jesus loved them, and helping people out and stuff. Like I love doing that. Like my future goals is to be an educator, because I feel like our younger adults or younger teenagers, they need to be loved, and they need to be shown that they do matter, and I feel like that's my passion.
Well, my passion is to make or make films that will help people express themselves. Typically I want to make like genre bending films, and I just love how filming and stuff really makes me feel. And I feel like I want to express and I want to make films that will help people realize, oh, I wait with this and I wait in this. So yeah, I really want to. That's my passion. Making films is my passion.
Well, it kind of just depends on what I'm doing. So when it comes to like my writing and like music and I guess even talking to people, like trying to give advice, I start off by just thinking about and getting thoughts. First of all, they're called thoughts. Thoughts are an idea that comes to your mind, and then the process of thinking is the process of actually analyzing those thoughts that were just coming to your mind. But I usually just get thoughts of how I relate to something, what I'm trying to talk about, and how these feelings and thoughts originated. And then I focus on where do I want to, like, where do these thoughts going to lead? That's kind of the next process. That's the thinking process. And that's when I start to think about, okay, what's the end game? What's this going to lead to? How's this going to affect me? Stuff like that. And that's just kind of how I lay it out. I start off at the beginning, I work my way through the end. Well, I do the beginning, I do the end, and then everything else in between just kind of falls into place, because you know where you started, you know where you end. So, you know, at that point, it's just fill in the blanks.
So my process for creation is really just a stream of consciousness. Like, I know a lot of people are like that, but a lot of people are also more so, I'm gonna plan something out and I'm gonna go A, B, C, D, E, F, G off the checklist. For me, procrastination is actually key. That time at the very end where you're stressing and you're in crunch, that's where you're the most creative, in my opinion. For me, I'm also the most creative when I'm like scared, because like, let's say I ding dong ditch somebody, I'm running from the cops. That's when my mind is creative. That's where I'm figuring out ways that I really need to like bypass the situation. I'll realize I can hop a fence this certain way, right? Things like that. Creativity is really just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I'm a very loose type of creative. Let's say I'm working on a song project, I'll be tweaking one song, one track, and then next thing you know, my mind wanders. I'm like, oh, I could do this with this track. Then I work on this track. So I'm not so strict. I'm more just free flowing when it comes to my creative side, and I just let whatever my brain is coming up with, I listen to that rather than what a list or a checklist will tell me to do.
I'm creating something. One step at a time, really, and patience. I feel like patience is a huge part of that. I'm trying to build some campus organization up right now. I'm not gonna say what it is, like, just stay tuned, you'll see it and find out, but just patience, really, and trusting God, because you got to keep God first with everything. So patience and trusting God, that's what I keep in mind when I'm creating something. So then after that, you get patience, then you get, connections. Connections comes with patience. Connections help you with other people and all that type of stuff, and then you tend to that's how you create something and be successful with it. That's how I feel. Patience and trusting God.
Yeah, I'd say so. I feel like when I'm in my creative mode, I try to incorporate aspects of my life and just previous things that I thought about or have been through, and try to figure out the way how to formulate and to include it with whatever I'm talking about. It actually makes me talking to people a lot easier, because I'm able to connect with them on a more personal level, because I'm bringing this more one-on-one, more vulnerable energy. I'm putting myself first in a vulnerable state, which is honestly not a bad thing. It's you being willing to communicate your own feelings and whatnot. But yeah, I'd say I definitely do. I definitely include aspects of my past ideas in my creative element.
So for using elements of my past ideas, it's really what I've grown up with and what I've grown accustomed to. Everything that I take passion in, I really study. So whether it's my music, I love me Kendrick Lamar. I go through and I break down his albums. I figure out why the writing is so great, why the production works, why it sounds a certain way, and how it makes you feel a certain type of way. So going back to that, it's really just, I soak in as much as I can when it comes to a creative, or when it comes to a piece of media that's meant to push something. So I try and take that and just really soak that into my brain, so when I get into a creative headspace, I can use that almost as like I file something in the back of my head and I can just pull it out, and next thing you know, boom. I wonder why something sounds a certain way, or I wonder why it sounds like that to make you feel a certain type of way. Next thing you know, I learn that, I figure out why, and I can implement that into whatever I'm doing.
I'd say that's where you have to draw fun into it. So like with something I'm trying to do, like past ideas such as selling clothes, that's something I really love and enjoy doing. And with what I'm about to do now, I'm going to be helping create a brand and helping push a brand out there. And that's something I didn't really see myself doing at first, but that's what I use for like a past idea, and yeah, like just having fun with it, like doing something, like pushing something that you loved before.
Passion. That's a very good question. But yeah, passion. Passion is something that you feel like you should just be doing. You know, it's something you enjoy doing. It feels right. You know, it makes you happy on the inside. Like it feels like a warm hug, man. Like it's just it's just a good feeling. Um, it can be an activity. It could be volunteering. I mean, it could be all kinds of different things. It's whatever you're passionate about. That's kind of where the word comes from. You know, being passionate about something. So yeah, I feel like passion is just something you enjoy doing that you're willing to go out your way to do. You know, whether it be spending money, attending social events, communicating to others, networking, um, trying new things, whatever that is. You know, that's passion.
To me, passion is really taking so much love for something you have, where you pour your all into something. You want to give every single ounce of what you got into it. You can be slightly passionate about something, but true passion, you want to give it your everything. You want to give every single brain cell you have towards something to make it the best it truly is. That's where when you look at, you can easily tell when you look at a piece of media if it truly has passion or not. I'll take Drake for an example. Drake doesn't have passion in his most recent music. You can hear it from his older tracks and his older albums. Compared to now, he's more so, I wouldn't say a soulless cash grab, but he's more a product to push something to a wider audience. So passion is putting your all into something and trying to really create something that sticks with you and embodies what you want.
Passion to me is something that you really care and love and want to grind for. For example, Kobe Bryant, great basketball player, bro. He had passion for the game. He was working out. He made sure he was the first one to leave the gym and the first one to get to the gym. And that work ethic, that's what if you want to have a work ethic for something, that's what passion's about. Passion, I feel like, is something that you really love. And are dying to do. Passion could even be seen in relationships. You could have passion for somebody, you know what I mean? So that's what I feel like passion is.
Well, passion to me is that it's something that something that a person really, really cares about and wants to do anything possible to make that happen or want to bring to the world. And I feel like it's also a good way for someone to express themselves through their passion and stuff.
Oh man, that's a great question. I'd say Kendrick Lamar for sure. Honestly, man, it's just the power he holds with his music and just the influence he has on my generation, the generations before me, and the generations that are going to come after me and are after me. He's just he's an impactful man. He's had a major impact on me, multiple different economies, well, more so neighborhoods, stuff like that. And his voice is just powerful. He really explains how life really is, and he's for the people. I look at him he's an activist. I feel like a lot of musicians can be considered activists, and just the way that he uses music as an outlet to spread this knowledge and this wisdom, I just think is really beautiful, and I really admire that. I look up to that.
One of my biggest creative inspirations right now is Dave Free, incredible music director, primarily associated with Kendrick Lamar, but he's able to tell such a dynamic story that just through his camera shots and his editing style, but it also coincides with the music to create a different meaning that the song has while you watch the music video. So I can listen to Not Like Us by Kendrick and take one thing out of it, and I can listen to the Not Like Us music video and watch it and take a completely different thing out of it. It's a different way of storytelling. So that's one of my biggest creative inspirations. Jordan Peele, one of my favorite directors. The biggest thing that really drives me to his movies is the attention to detail that he has. In the movie Get Out, a horror thriller, there's always the typical thing with horror films. It's like, why don't they just do this? Why don't they just run away and things like that? But that film covers up all those questions and it makes it an airtight story. But there was criticism about a certain scene where the main character is trying to run away and his phone just dies when he needs it the most. But if you really look at the phone, it's known for having a notoriously bad battery life. So that attention to detail creates a story that feels like it's almost lived in. And that's what passion is. And that's what makes passion. Something that's livable, something that you can feel came from a human being.
I'd say my greatest inspiration for me is my mom. Single mom for a lot of my life, role model. Had a baby at 16, but she had passion. She had passion to be an educator, to get her master's. She's working to get her PhD right now. I feel like that's passion right there. And and she had past ideas which made her succeed right now. At first, she wanted to work in daycare. Then she went to deciding what daycare is good and how many stars it should be. That's past ideas right there. And then another big inspiration for me is LeBron James. I'm a big LeBron James fan. I love the game of basketball, and I feel like LeBron James is very passionate about the game of basketball, and I love that. LeBron, I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time. And and then the biggest inspiration of all, Jesus Christ. Died on the cross for our sins and saved our lives. So yeah.
I'd say, okay, number one, art. It's a good way to, self-express. You're able to paint. You can draw. There's so many things you can do, and art is just. It really shows a lot of emotion. So I say art is definitely number one. Poetry. Any type of writing. Anything that dives into your mind. It's just like self-expression, stuff like that. I'd say that's a good one. And then for number three, I'd say honestly, I'd say like designing stuff. Whether it be clothing, whether it be shoes, whether that be whatever, some type of like interior design, stuff like that. I think that's a good way to self-express as well. It's what you like, different scenery options, different, self-expression with the clothing, putting a message on clothing, stuff like that. That's also a good way to be, creative.
Wow, you could answer this 100 different ways. Matter of fact, a million different ways, but I'll just say for me, I can be creative through what I see. If I have a great conversation with somebody, I'm gonna take whatever I can and bring that into my creative juices, into my creative flow, and I'm gonna try and bring that out and project that. Because once again, it moved me, so I know it'll move other people.
Some ways a person can be creative is number one, being a student. Like, don't think like, oh, I know this, so like I don't need to ask anybody for help. If something looks good, you're like, teach me like how you can do this. You can do this in the classroom. Be like, yeah, you do this a little better than me, but you might have a better grade than me. Ask them, what can I do? I feel like that's a way somebody can be creative. Another way somebody can be creative is trusting themselves. Trusting themselves and going for their goals. Like, like if you have a passion for something, go get that. You have a passion for dancing, go get that. You have a passion for singing, go get that. You have a passion for making movies, go get that. You have a passion for art, go get that. We could go on and on and on. If you have a love for something, you care about something, and God said, hey, I want you to do this, go do that. And when you do it, be patient, trust God, and be creative with it. That's all it is for real.
I'd say so, yeah. I feel like it's affected me in both ends. In one aspect, when I was rejected, in certain aspects of, my life, it can be a little degrading. You can feel like you're not meant for something, you're not supposed to be doing it and stuff like that. But, excuse me. But later down the line, you end up realizing that rejection actually fueled the fire. So, it's affected me in, both aspects, It kind of lit a fire underneath my ass.
So for me, rejection and critiquing are very different things. And they're both have their pros and cons. So critiquing, that's taking something and being constructive with it and showing why things work and why things don't. But rejection is just a flat out just, nah, this doesn't work. But even if it does, that's gonna get you more motivated. Hopefully, if this is where your passion truly is, that'll get you up, it'll make you more motivated to create something that's able to move somebody.
Yeah. I'd say it would. Rejection always isn't like the best thing in the world, but like, it matters on what you're becoming, how you're gonna conduct it. So, example for me, I was rejected like in middle school off of a basketball team. Okay, how are you gonna succeed from it? All right. Never been rejected from a basketball team again. And I didn't play the best competition. I was in lower class ball, but it's true, I didn't. So it really matters how you're gonna succeed from it. And I don't know if that's as creative as an aspect as you guys are planning, and I understand that, but I'm just saying that right there is just tells you about what rejection is. You gotta understand how you're gonna succeed from it, and use it as fuel. Use it as fuel. Use it as something to push you and to keep you going. Yeah.
So the perfect way that I can answer this question is literally today. Me and my boy Cody, we've been working on this album, talking in the brainstorming phase for about 2 months. He was very, very nervous to put out his work and things like that. And it really just took me having passion in music and seeing the passion that he has. And I told him, man, you got to get this on wax. You need to start recording this. This can be something. So I think people really see my passion with something, and I'm able to match it with their passion. That's what I love most about people, is passion. So seeing that, blending those two things together, next thing you know, you're able to create a great product.
I feel like I motivate others with my passion, with just showing the light of Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the best way to motivate others, so they can see how much you care for it and like are willing to grind for it. That relationship with God, and it doesn't have to just be with Jesus. Like, passion can be seen like in work. Like, are you being a good leader? Passion can be seen in the classroom, being a good student, turning in your work, getting your work done, in your fraternity, your sorority. It could be anything. Like, it really could be anything. And really just being that light that people look up to. And, not just like look up to, like, I feel like, can feel like they can go up to you. That's what motivates people. And I feel like that's all what passion is about right there. I feel like that's a perfect picture of passion, actually. So, yeah.
My passion, it brings out the creativity in me. I'm a writer, so it's pretty simple. My writing, it makes me really dive deep into myself and pull out, different emotions and figure out different ways to express them through my words. So I got to be very creative for that. And yeah, definitely. just my writing. That's my passion. So it helps me be as creative as I probably can be.
Really, my passion is everything is creative. If something resonates with me, I'm gonna get my ass up and I'm gonna try and do something with it. I don't want to just have this feeling of deeply being moved and not do anything with it. Whether it's me just writing a few words, not even poetry, but just writing down how something made me feel, understanding why it made me feel that type of way, and use that, and then hopefully create something that can make somebody else feel that type of way. That's really what it is.
My passion inspires me as a creative person by just doing what I love. I feel like showing myself how much I love something, and that's all about what passion is. So I love Jesus, and that's why I'm creating. I keep saying creating. That's why I'm helping create this brand, and I'm pushing out some more things out there for our campus, and that's all because of the passion I have for God and Jesus, and that's just tells you how creative it is right there. And I feel like other people do the same. We see the love of art. Picasso, all these guys, they were passionate for it, and made them creative. That's creative right there, and I feel like that's all what passion is about.
Well, my passion is really just to make films, so that really inspires me to do research and how are films made, and start writing scripts so I can make these films. And it really inspires me to do more and find more in-depth stuff about the script making and the filmmaking. But it really inspires me to make films.
Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur. So I low-key became an entrepreneur because I just want to do what I want to do. And I said, hey, if I'm gonna do that, I gotta do professional. I gotta figure out what I'm good at, what do I enjoy doing. So I started doing that, and I started enjoying stuff. I started excelling. I was a good kid in school. Throughout elementary, middle school, and even high school. I am now, but there's definitely a big difference between my work ethic and schooling, something that is not as interesting to me, and something I'm very passionate about. I definitely put a lot more effort towards my music, my Bible studies, my friend groups, and just everything else that I'm passionate about in my life.
100%. If you ask me to do something about history, I'm not going to care. But if you ask me to do something about movies or some music or something that's deeply resonated with me, that's where I'm putting my all into something. I think that's what God put me here for. If somebody's going to have that passion in history, and I can think of somebody that does, and that's what they put their effort into. So for me, wherever my passion lays is where I know that's where I need to put my creative juices and my flow into. That's where I need to put myself into.
Yeah, I say I would find myself more creative when it's related to my passion. I feel like even the greatest movie creators, when they really care about something and want to do something, they get even more creative. That comes with Star Wars, Spider-Man, all that type of stuff, bro. Look at this. Stan Lee, he had a passion for superheroes. That's why he created this whole universe. And I feel like that's the most creative way you could be about passion. You know what I mean? And I feel like passion is the root of everything. Passion is the root of success. Passion can be the root of failure. You know what I mean? But it's the root of everything, and that's how you go about it.